Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to this new video. This is Mr. Cluster 87. Today it's December the 12th, 2015. And in this video guys, I would like to make a call for testers, since tomorrow, basically on Sunday, there will be a tester for the new feature which comes along with the new NRS version, the 1.7.2 experimental. So I want to stress this, guys. All the testing will be done over the testnet in order to make sure that the new feature will become available on January 2016, basically. So, what's the news today? Shuffling day, the NRS version 1.7.2 experimental. It's going to test the coin shuffle features. So, first of all, let's see what are the new features that the new version comes with. We are over NXT forum, as you can see. The version it's the 1.7 because this is the main version. The following version are just bug fixing or user graphic interface improvements, let's say. So this is an experimental release. The new features will be activated at block 483,000 on testnet, the November the 30th, and on block 621,000 on production, estimated, as you can see, on the end of January 2016. Production nodes will need to upgrade to the stable 1.7 version once it is released, but in any case before the hard fork schedule for block 621,000. So what are the new features? One of the new features is the coin shuffling, based on the paper of Tim Ruffin. So, coin shuffling can be used to perform mixing of NXT monetary system currencies, unless created as non-shuffleable, or asset exchange assets. Any account can create a new shuffling, specifying the holding to be shuffled, the shuffle amount, number of participants required, and registration deadline. This is done doing the Shuffling Create API. The subsequent shuffling steps can be done either manually. Once started, the shuffler monitors the blockchain state for transactions relevant to the specified shuffle and automatically submits the required transactions on behalf of the user, performing shuffle processing, verification, or cancellation as needed. To do this, the shuffler is required to keep the user secret phrase in memory. Therefore, it should be run on a trusted local machine only. A restart or crash of the node requires the shuffler to be started again. Okay. In order to participate in a shuffling, a deposit of 1000 NXT is needed, in addition to the amount of currency or asset being shuffled. Or, if shuffling NXT itself, the amount of the shuffle must exceed this 1000 NXT minimum. If the shuffling completes successfully, this amount is added to the recipient account balance to allow it to send outgoing transactions, as it is required that only new unused accounts are specified as recipients. Why this, guys? Because actually shuffling it's a way to, let's say, anonymize transactions. See, all the transactions are crystal clear and transparent over the blockchain. This is a way in order to anonymize your transactions. So that's why you are required a new unused account. If the shuffle fails due to a registered participant failing to participate as required or intentionally submitting false data, the participant responsible for the shuffle cancellation is penalized by retaining this deposit and sending it to the forgers of the shuffle finish block and the previous 3 blocks instead. If a shuffle is cancelled because the requirement number of participants is not met, nobody is penalized and all deposits are refunded. Okay, and this is it basically for the shuffling feature. The fee of creating a shuffling or registering one is 1 NXT for the shuffling process of shuffling cancel transaction, 10 NXT. For the shuffling process or shuffling cancel transaction, 10 NXT, and for the verifying transaction, 1 NXT. The second feature would be account control for phased transactions. So phased transactions we see in the actual release, which is the 1.6.2. Basically you can start a transaction, then it will be accomplished in the future. So it is a delayed transaction, let's say, after some requirements or parameters are met, and it is performed thanks to the blockchain. Any account can be restricted to only be allowed to issue phased transactions subject to a specific voting model. This is achieved by the account submitting a set phasing only transaction using the set phasing only control API. Can be used to retrieve the status of an account phasing control and to get all accounts subject to phasing control with their respective restrictions. Once set, the phasing only account control can only be disabled or changed with another set phasing only transaction, itself subject to the current set phasing transaction. Note that by transaction and by hash voting models are not allowed for phasing control, and setting voting model to none is used to disable the control. When setting phasing account control, a maximum fees total can be specified, limiting the total fees for currently pending phase transactions of the controlled account, and limits can be placed on minimum and maximum phasing duration allowed. Transactions of accounts subject to phasing account control with restriction on main maximum fees are throttled at 1 per account block. Immediate release of phased transactions on approval. Phased transactions with a voting model that does not depend on account balance, such as by transaction or by hash, or by account with no minimum balance and with a whitelist, will be released before their finish height as soon as provided in the block in which the transaction causing their approval is executed, if possible. Such early finish is guaranteed for transaction types known to be phasing safe. For others, if the early finish does not succeed due to the transaction failing validation at this high or conflicting with another transaction in the same block. A second final release attempt will be performed at finish high. New base target adjustment algorithm in order to have an average block time of 1 minute, basically. So 1440 blocks per day. Limit to 1000 NXT on minimum forging balance. So from this new release on, in order to be able to forge, or let's say to validate transaction over the NXT blockchain, you have to have a minimum amount of 1000 NXT. Accounts properties. Those are name value pairs that can be set on any account except Genesis by either the account owner or by another account. Names are limited to 32 characters and values to 160 characters. Names are unique per account and per setter account, but not globally unique. Account properties cannot be transferred between accounts. The setter of an account property can edit it by replacing its value with another. Either the settler or the recipient, if different, of an account property can delete it. There is no limit on the number of properties an account can have. Fee for setting account property is 1 NXT for value up to 32 characters, with additional 1 NXT fee for every 32 characters after that. Singleton assets. Issuing an asset with a quantity of 1 decimal 0 and description length not exceeding 160 characters will require a base minimum fee of 1 NXT only, instead of the regular 1000 NXT asset issuance fee. For description of more than 32 characters, an extra 1 NXT fee is added for each 32 characters. Asset name for singleton assets is limited to 10 characters, same as for regular assets. Throttling of unique resource allocation transactions. Spreading back block fees for asset and currency issuance. Prunable plain and prunable encrypted messages attachments, both allowed in the same transaction. And some incompatible changes. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of new features planned for the 1.7 release. So let's get to the main news, basically. So as you can see, this is posted was from the user Eveldave, which it's part of the NXT Foundation. So come and test out the 1.7.2 experimental release coin shuffle feature this Sunday, December 13th, 2015. I will link this website down on the description of this video, guys, in order for you to read. And what are you required? Basically, it's to create a new account specific for this task, as I already did, and to ask for some test NXT. As you can see, test NXT. I will share this link as well. So let's head over it. This is my new, let's say, account created for this specific task. I'm getting ready for tomorrow, basically. So as you can see, the NRS version, it's this one, 1.7.2. You can download this version directly from the interface, basically. So as if you come here and you have a previous version, you will be able to download this, and then you can check the hashes in order to see if the download is legit. So the features that we had just read are basically this one. So you can set account info with your name, description, and here you can calculate the fee. In order to do everything over NXT, you are required to submit the passphrase. Okay, then details, which are every single thing that you have, as you see: ledger, assets, trade history, currency, marketplace, aliases, and actions. So the main point over here is this tag shuffling. Basically I cannot show you the feature because I am, as you can see, downloading the blockchain. So exactly, I cannot check shuffler status. You have a brand new account. So here are my shuffling and create shuffling. Okay, so this is it for today's video. See you on the next one. See you guys. Bye bye. This was Mr. Cluster 87.